For the next portion of our project, we'll be making the pinch pot base, which is the bottom of a pot, this round part right here. It's the portion that the bowl sits on. And usually it's traditionally a circle, but you can make it any shape that you would like. For this part of the project, you will need your pinch pot that you made last class, an additional piece of pre-wedged clay from Mrs. Fry. Remember, that's clay that's wedged with no air bubbles. We'll need a clay fettling knife, a clay rib, or clay modeling tools, your choice. Probably want a fork. Again, you can use the clay fettling knife instead, or a clay modeling tool if you'd like. You'll want a wooden sharpened stick, which is one of your clay modeling tools. And you'll also need something called slip. This is a wet clay. It's basically clay and water mixed together to form a really gross milkshake-like substance called slip. This is the glue that you use to put your project together. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my extra piece of clay, kind of start forming it. I'm going to be rolling a coil for the bottom of my pot. So I'm taking that, rolling it on the table. Something like that. After that, I'm going to smush my coil down. Use my fingers to flatten this out. Make sure it's not stuck to the table. Then with your clay fettling knife, you can cut a nice end on the one side and cut the edges straight. This will be the base for your clay, for your pot. Pulling off these extra pieces. Maybe. After that, keep in mind you do not want to get stuck to the table. Make sure it's straight. Cut this other section off. You'll have a nice straight piece of clay. You can set your pieces aside. Then you need your pinch pot. What you're going to do next is you are going to take and curl your base around on your pinch pot, overlap your sections. So it might look something like this. Then, once you have the shape you would like on the bottom of your pot, use your clay fettling knife, and you're actually going to, hold this better for you to see, you're going to cut straight down through. When I do that, I remove this extra piece here, remove this piece here, and then my other two pieces fit perfectly together. To get clay to stay together, clay doesn't like to stay together. In the kiln, it will come right apart. To actually make it stay together, you need to scratch your surface and add the glue called slip, and that kind of forms a Velcro, and if you push the Velcro together, it doesn't come apart. So I'm going to take my base off my pot. This is where the fork comes in handy, although you're welcome to use the clay fettling knife or maybe your wooden sharpened stick. At this point, you're going to first use your sharpened stick and trace where you'd like your base to be. I'm tracing it. It should look like a donut when I'm done. So I've got my donut there. I have my base here. Then I'm going to use my fork, your clay modeling knife, whatever you like, and you're going to scratch. Scratch in the donut that you've just created. And scratch like somebody flushed your Chromebook. Don't be nice to the clay. This is not something you want to come apart, so scratch it like you mean it. And notice I'm using my fingers on each side of the coil down here to make sure that I don't destroy my coil with my scratches. Remember, this is plastic clay. It tends to be very easy to mold and it's very nice to work with. But adding to your plastic clay, you're going to add slip to it now. You can use a paintbrush to do this or a clay modeling tool, your choice. But this is the glue that keeps the clay together. So I'm putting slip on all of my scratches. Getting a little extra, that's okay. This is clay after all. So I'm putting slip on the outside of my pot. Here where I want the base to attach. Then I'm going to use my fork again, or your knife, or whatever you like. I'm re-scratching so the slip really gets in there. Re-scratching over here. Then I'm going to put my Velcro together and push it down so it interlocks. So I've created that Velcro-like seam, smush it on. So it interlocks, and now it looks something like this. Now using a clay modeling tool or a plastic rib, your choice, you're going to actually move the clay to form one. So as I do this, see how I'm moving that down? It's forming one piece. I want to do that all the way around the bottom, outside and inside. The extra slip is okay. If you want, you can take, put some over there, back in the slip jar if you want. I want to do that all the way around. Eventually when I'm done, it should look something like this. It should look like one piece, and then later on we'll be doing some surface design and cutting our pot even. Thank you.